we want to talk about, I really want to use this opportunity more to talk about India, where we can go. This is not a talk about my company or the work that I do. I spent about 35 years in Europe and the United States. I went to Europe, to the US when I was very young, and then I had a very, very successful career on Wall Street. And at one time I was one of the larger commodity traders in the world. But my heart was always here in India. I always thought, how do I make a change? How do I make an impact? Obviously, I think the path at which India is now becoming, the third largest economy in the world, and obviously one of the top 3-4 equity markets in the world. But what really is, we have a very, very young population. We have, I call India Youngistan. If you really look at what is going on in this country in design, development, not just of commercial vehicles, but for emerging markets, but a whole lot of R&D, a whole lot of design and development is going on here. If you look at all the large corporates or large players in Europe, in the United States, President Trump is talking about making America great again. I think India was always great. We don't need to make a thing great again. I think we just need to do it better. I think, India really, we compare, and again, Devanshu is my head of PR. He says I'm going to go off track, but I use these opportunities to talk about how we can actually put India first. I think that, what I do want is I don't want the 𝗠𝗢𝗧𝗢𝗧𝗢𝗂𝗏s or the Satya Nadellas to go to the United States and build companies there. I think I want all of us to be able to make, with technology, with the design and development companies right here in this country. I think we have an opportunity to do that. If we just look at it, obviously China is technology. I know we compare ourselves to China. Ladies and gentlemen, honestly, China on technology is at a level, I think, even in some places above the United States. And I'll tell you why. I think, you talk to any Chinese, they will say China first. It's about the nation building. And I think, obviously China has emerged one of the largest markets for EV globally, not only just on the EVs, but on hydrogen and many, many new technologies. The government has implemented many, many policies, subsidies, tax incentives, and support regulations to green energy sustainability. If you go back and look where China was, I would say 70 years ago, we've been independent 75, and look at where we were today in terms of green energy sustainability. They're up there. I think they're just making a great effort. And it's a public-private partnership. India obviously is making substantial strides in promoting EVs. The government has done, aims to achieve 30% penetration by 2030. I think that's a bridge too far a little bit. I think we will see change in the 2 and the 3, but the passenger passenger four-wheelers and the bigger trucks will take time. But obviously, increasing urbanization and focusing on reducing air pollution presents significant opportunities for EV growth. Europe has made a decision, but they're flip-flopping on it. I think, there's a lot of other problems in Europe right now than this, but obviously, green energy sustainability, Norway, the Scandinavian countries are doing a great work. Southeast Asia is developing. Latin America wants it. Middle East also appreciates it. We've opened up operations in the UAE for Middle East and Africa. I'm just moving into Africa. We're taking up products of green energy sustainability to West Africa, and then we're also looking at East Africa. The opportunity is that Make in India products, design, quality, about 15 to 20 years ago, all the big players would have said, India ki quality bahut kharab hai. Today, I don't think that's the question. The question is, can we do it in scale, right? I think the other thing is, the industry needs to be more, if you look at successful execution of manufacturing and design, there are hubs being made, there is clusters, there is support from government, and then there's obviously banks, financing. I think we need to do more of that. That will give us the scale. I think for us to compete, with the big boys and girls is to be able to do, we have to do that. Obviously, in EVs, the infrastructure, one of the biggest problems which we still have is the availability and accessibility of infrastructure play, which is a crucial role in demanding commercial EVs. Government regulation incentives. The government has done enough on FAME 1, 2, there's PMI, but I think, depending on the government here in India, on pushing, more subsidies, I think is a bridge too far. I think the government will do, but I think it has to be more a private, public partnership, but the private. We all talk about, our kids. We want a better future. We want our kids to have a better education. But if the air and if the air quality is not good, I'll tell you, we're going to face a serious health issue in the next 20 years. I think this is something which is a very, very important subject matter. And I think, this is not about, Modi ji cleaning India. We have to clean India by ourselves. I think, we've all got to pitch in. We've all got to be able to say, this is our 1 rupee or 10 rupees or 1,000 rupees to make this. We need, zero emission zones. We need targets for EVs. This is an extremely important factor. Total cost ownership. I'll be honest, green energy sustainability is great in conferences, but the only time it's going to matter is TCO. Because in India, we've been in this game for about 10 years. We've done a lot of work. Everybody says, I want a green and cleaner India. But जब जेब में हाथ डालना पड़ता है तो लोग कहते हैं हम तो IC चला लेंगे वो better है. So how does that work? The total cost ownership. So I think in the 2 and the 3-wheelers, you are seeing total cost ownership work. In the 1-ton trucks, you are seeing it over a period of time. As long as the total cost ownership works, you'll see this happen. Battery technology and range. Battery technology is improving consistency. You're seeing, obviously, it was LFP, NMC is coming. Many, many things are happening. And I think range, which was range anxiety, that is also moving ahead in a much, much quicker way. Industry partnerships. I think in this journey, clearly, what needs to happen is industry partnerships have to be important, whether it is international alliances or local partnerships. I think we all have to work together as one unit. And I'll keep coming back to all of you. Please, 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 India को first रखो. India को first रखोगे तो I think हमारा बहुत सारा काम आसान हो जाएगा. I think that building alliances locally and internationally will help us. Businesses consider operational efficiency and productivity benefits of commercial EVs while evaluating their demand. We've worked with all the large players, and at the end of the day, they all want to make sure that the cost saving on EVs or hydrogen is more than ICE. And I think this is something that as technology, as battery prices have come down, as the ecosystem have built, it's happening more and more. Environmentally, sustainability and corporate CSR, I think all of you, whether you are owners, whether you are participants, this is a responsibility for you to bring greenhouse emissions and air pollution down. Consumer demand and brand image is extremely important. I think initially there was a lot of concern on EVs. Now products, quality, service is getting better, and you're going to see a lot more change happen. You see, these factors collectively shape the demand of commercial electric vehicles. And infrastructure develops, regulations become more supportive. And I'll say the demand for commercial EVs is now growing, and it's expected to increase. I think you'll see a big change over the next 10 years, and we want to be working on a cleaner and a more sustainable nation. Key considerations, this is something, for design and manufacturing an EV in emerging markets. This is a 1-ton truck which we have developed, which is going to be honestly below the price of, most of the industry. This is also a market, apart from 3-wheelers, that is, growing. It involves, studying the emerging market infrastructure, road conditions, transportation, but understanding the specific needs and preference of target markets. With design, with the designs, very, very important. Today's consumer is very, very particular on the design, on the quality, on the overall feel and touch of the vehicles. Honestly, we started with three-wheelers, cargo, passenger. When we see customers come in, they want absolutely high quality product, and they want a commitment, they want service. So this is something that's extremely important. Robust, the design should prioritize durability, reliability, ease of maintenance, simplicity in design, longevity, and performance of vehicles. And I say key parties because it's their earning in the commercial vehicles. That is important. We've just launched, about 10 days ago, India's first three-wheeler autonomous vehicle. And you know what? It's not about just delivering autonomous vehicles with our partner, 𝗙𝗂𝘁𝗂𝗿𝗲 from Japan. The customization, adaptability, flexibility in design, adaptability to applications is very, very crucial. Obviously, providing options for customization and modular design cater to diverse customers. See, it's extremely important that the customer is taken into mind of what we want to build. If we want to build, a product that is going to get scale, we've got to make sure that the modular design caters to the customers. This is something that over the years we have found. Cost optimization, making sure that designing commercial vehicles with a focus of cost optimization. This is important because you're going to be competing with ICE. You're going to also have to maintain quality standards and efficient manufacturing processes, utility, and I would say we don't need to import everything. There's a lot of development going on locally, procedures that can help achieve cost efficiency, and that's an extremely important part. Fuel efficiency, prioritizing fuel efficiency, exploring alternative energy sources, electric, hybrid, and complying with emission regulations contributing to sustainability. See, it's extremely, extremely important that we work not just in tier 1, but tier 2, 3, and 4 cities. And obviously the development that is going on apart in tier 2, 3, 4 cities is exceptional, what is going on in this nation. Safer driver comfort. What's extremely important also is our drivers have safety first in terms of comfort, in terms of anti-locking brakes, airbags, reinforced chassis, advanced. See, ADAS is now coming to be a reality for every truck in the future. This is something that is most important for drivers, for our mobility, for the movement of all of this in our nation. Local collaboration supports. We're establishing partnerships and collaborations with local suppliers, service networks, and streamlined production, distribution, and after-sales service. If you clearly look at it, by addressing these design considerations, commercial EVs will meet the demand of emerging markets, obviously providing robust, reliable, and adaptable solutions for business operating in diverse. India is a very, very diverse country. The north, the south, the east to the west. There's completely new customers. There's completely new demand. They have their own preferences. Driving vehicles in Kerala. I think that the Zomato delivery guy wants to be driving a KTM, right? Or a product that's upmarket. You go to Eastern UP, it's a completely different market. You go to the Northeast, they want something different. So it's absolutely important in emerging markets, we do that. Manufacturing 4.0, IoT, is extremely, extremely important. Obviously, connected devices, sensors in the manufacturing process to gather data. Data is the new gold. I know the gold market and the silver market is going through fire right now. It just keeps going up and up. But IoT and data and real-time monitoring and control, it allows for better visibility. It allows for predictive maintenance, more earnings for the drivers, and more security. Big data analytics, manufacturing 4.0 is extremely important for big data analytics to process and analyze large volumes of data generated from various sources in the production process. It helps in optimizing operations, improving quality, and obviously downtime. AI and machine learning. I'll tell every one of you, one way or the other, learn AI. it is not the future, it is already the past. And everyone that does not have AI and machine learning in their manufacturing, this will enable in profitability, quality control, process optimization, and autonomous decision making. AI-powered systems learn from data and adapt to changing conditions. And this is something every one of us have to be. CPS, the cyber physical systems, refer to the integration of physical systems with digital technologies and connectivity. It involves the use of sensors, actuators, and smart devices to monitor and control physical process. CPS facilities real-time feedback enables coordination of various components. Robotics and automation, every factory, every SME, MSME needs to have robotics involved sooner or later. Collaborative, see, one of the things will come about the cost. Collaborative robotics, cobots, work alongside human operators, obviously enhancing productivity and safety. 3D printing is going to be another part. It's a key technology in manufacturing 4.0. It allows for production of complex geometrics, rapid prototyping, and on-demand manufacturing. 3D printing is going to become more and more important, more and more part of everybody's life as we go on. Cloud computing is, again, something that requires for storage, power processing, and data sharing capabilities for manufacturing. And every one of us in the manufacturing process will require that from different locations and different devices. AR and VR. AR and VR technologies obviously used in manufacturing to enhance training, maintenance, and visualization. This will help in faster products. I mean, look at one thing. Look at Ford and GM. It takes them umpteen times to make new vehicles. You see the Chinese, they're coming out vehicles like it's going out of style. I mean, you see the new factories, you see what they're doing, and this is what, is extremely important. AR and VR is going to be a very, very big part of the future. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I think, whether you're designing EVs for emerging markets or for India or for anywhere, it's essential to prioritize robustness, reality, and adaptability to diverse operating conditions. Emerging markets present a very, very significant opportunity for us in India, and whether it's EV or others, environmental concerns and governmental initiatives drive the adoptions of EVs. Incorporating local components and manufacturing in the EV industry is going to be very, very important. By leveraging local capabilities, manufacturers can enhance competitiveness, increase market penetration, and contribute to a sustainable development of the EV in the region. See, I think we are in a sweet spot in this country's life. I think we've got young men and women. Let's not forget women. 58% of the population are these ladies, and they are as important. If we don't include everybody in this journey, I think it'll be very, very difficult to be a powerhouse. You are seeing global trends are changing. Global relationships are different. The entire world is changing. The order that where the United States was the powerhouse, I think in the next 10 years, going to change. There's a whole lot of world changes coming. They say, change with the time, or time will change you. I request all of you to look at your manufacturing processes as your design. Look at how you can work together. Look at how you can make better international scale products, how we can align forces with players here, nationally, internationally. One goal, only one goal. How do we put India first? If we put India first, I'll tell you what, we've got a long, long way to go. This country really, really has an opportunity. I came back to India, not because I'm just of Indian descent, because I saw an opportunity in this nation where, we've got a huge upside. But I think we've got to be able to say, we've got this habit of, मेरे लिए गवर्नमेंट क्या कर रही है, मैं पूछूंगा आप गवर्नमेंट और नेशन के लिए क्या कर रहे हैं. I think, but in that, we've got to make sure that the public sector is taken along by the private sector. I think the time has come where the private sector leads the public sector. I hope you all join me in this journey. At least for me, I feel sometimes I'm like, that movie on 𝗏𝗏 Gump when Tom Hanks is running by itself. But I think a lot of people are now running for a better India. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Thank you very much.